Can I say something? She's mentioning the airport scene is because she's very good in it and she wants to make sure that we talk about it. And if we don't talk about it, let me tell you, she talks about it. So go ahead.
But what about this project, when you were part of it, what surprised you as an actor? That's something you didn't know about yourself, but it really did surprise you.
Question. You want to explain a bad way?
Yeah.
Why don't you read it?
Oh my God.
Just give me the film then. Then after first Wikipedia कौन सी है क्या हुआ?
You know, because she's from theatre.
Oh please. Oh please.
Radio Nasha.
Hi, this is Sheetal. You are watching Radio Nasha. I have to mention that the Mehta Boys is a story that is straight up raw, relatable and deeply human. Let's get into a conversation with the team. Hi guys.
Hello.
Welcome to Radio Nasha.
Thank you.
Hi, Sheetal.
Hi. Sir, I want to start off by asking you that, firstly, congratulations on your directorial debut. Can you have a round of applause for it? I know that it took you 8 years to bring this story alive for everyone. Tell us about the process and what made you want to tell it to the world.
When I heard the one-liner, it was gifted to me, the one-liner from Sujoy Ghosh, by Sujoy Ghosh. He just said, you want to do it? Go ahead, it's yours. Long ago. It must be about 15 years ago.
Oh.
And I stayed with the one-liner, and then when I started developing it, the thing was, I needed to learn how to write. So while I was learning, I was writing at the same time. And I had a co-writer in Alex Dinelaris Jr., He's written Birdman. He's just finished a film with Tom Cruise. An amazing friend, a brother who was teaching me and writing with me, And I think when you have this story that I don't like the word, it's slice of life kind of film.
Yes.
I don't like the word, but you can't just put together 20 nice scenes together and say, here's your film. You've got to engage them for 2 hours. You've got to engage an audience, and there has to be something that binds it together. So the techniques that he taught me, hopefully, will engage the audience.
It has. I saw it last night and I have cried so much because I think it was a story that was needed to be told. I know so many of my male friends who even now come and tell me that, I cannot have a conversation with my dad because A, I'm too scared, and B, because my dad doesn't know how to react to my conversations, right? Because bachpan se condition kiya jata hai ki mama's boy and daddy's little girl, right? Because of that conditioning, ye sab ho raha hai.
Can I say something?
Yes.
You cried and cried, but not out of tragedy, right?
No, not out of tragedy, because I
the
felt...
audience nahi, humko nahi rona to nahi.
No, tragedy at all.
It's out of a certain emotional...
Emotion, yes, yeah. Because
And a connection.
Heart, yeah, exactly. So, any nuances from your personal experience as a father that you could reflect in the movie?
So, I never had a father. So, that side of the perspective, I don't have. I have 2 wonderful sons. And honestly, it's strange that I have a great relationship with my sons. But at the same time, there is a dynamic shift from when they are chubby little boys and when they become
Teenagers.
mishy men. Yeah. And they don't want to listen as much. They don't want to listen as much. Advice is not forthcoming at a certain age. And you feel, what, they don't need me anymore? They don't want me anymore? Am I getting too old? Am I getting too boring? Not at all. But that's a dynamic that we are exploring with this film. A communication that you'd rather listen to somebody else. I mean, ask a piano teacher to teach his own son piano. It's not happening.
Not happening. Puja ma'am, I want to ask you that you come from a theatre background just like sir, right? Talk to me about how is he as a director, because as actors we all know he's amazing, but as a director, was there a scope to improvise, or he's like, no, aisa hi karna hai, strict kaise hai? He's looking at you.
नहीं बहुत scope था. No, jokes apart. I think he had intense and immense clarity about why that word was in that scene, why the scene was there in the film. Yeah. So, and of course he would explain that.
Yeah.
He was open to questions. There was space for improv, like in the airport scene.
Can I say something? She's mentioning the airport scene is because she's very good in it and she wants to make sure that we talk about it.
नहीं, because
and if we don't talk about it, let me tell you, She talks about it. So go ahead.
No, but it, like, you know, we had the script, we had the lines, and there's one moment that came while we were shooting that scene, and that stayed.
Yeah.
So there was space, but of course not meandering, because it's a very lean, kadak script, you know. So play, of course, play. That moment of playfulness has to be there, but there's a reason why this is there, so stick with that. So I think just taking that from him as a director, that clarity that he had, and I was like, shit, yeah, mujhe chahiye aisi clarity life mein. So it was wonderful working with him.
That's amazing. Shreya, I want to talk to you about this particular scene towards the end of the movie. जब आप उनको देखते हो, and you have that glance, right? It's like you're doing okay,
Can you imagine?
and your mind, that's the kind of feeling I got. Talk to me about that scene. Is that your favorite scene as well?
It is.
Well done.
It's not even a scene. It's a moment. There are two glances.
Exactly. It's just for this little time, right?
No, thank you so much for noticing it. It's really warmed my heart, because genuinely that's a scene that Boman sir and I spoke about exactly the way you said it. He just said, I just want you to give him a glance, but there's so much that you're thinking at that moment. And this was all there, like Puja was mentioning, in the script. Maybe there's no dialogue, and that's the genius of the writing. But there is, like, if an audience can feel what's happening there, is because it's been thought out like that. And I feel the entire script is that way. We're saying a lot of things, we're saying words, but we're saying a lot more than just the words that we're saying.
This is my son Danish, who's the producer of the film. Favorite moment in the film. And I'll tell you something, it is written, and if I may, it is written that at that moment when she turns around, they are a couple, but there's not a iota of romance till that moment.
Exactly.
That's the first romantic moment in the film, and it's the last thing in the film. She looks at him, and it's written there that at that point of time, she could jump across the table and kiss him. And more, there's more written in the script. But that's the point of performance, and if that performance doesn't come through, I mean, at the end of the day, you've got good actors who just...
Absolutely true.
No, and I was also very lucky to be a part of a film like this, which is written so beautifully, but performed by the three of them so amazingly well. Especially that entire scene, the way Avinash has performed it, and I was there, right? Because I'm in the middle of everything that's going on, and I would see Boman sir directing him, and he would be performing it. And as actors, the beauty is when there are moments when you're playing a character and you're Zara. My character's name is Zara, and I'm being Zara. And then for a minute, it just feels so real that I forget Shreya, and I'm like, I'm here right now, because he really, I don't know what you did in that scene, but it is my favorite scene in the film as well. And I feel it really encapsulates everything that the film is trying to say. So, yeah.
I also felt one more thing, that after watching the entire movie, I was like, oh my God, I need to watch it again, because there are such smaller detailing that you miss out on. Like
so
this
much
scene.
symbolism as
exactly.
well. Yeah.
Because there was also this another scene with Avinash, I think, the handbrake one, right? That, I mean, at least from my understanding, I think it's like a process of hand holding. Ki papa ne chhod diya, fir then you have your girlfriend, right? So how was that scene for you?
My only understanding is nothing changes in life. Baat kiya to girlfriend aa gayi. I think it's in a way, if you look at it, the father was one who was pushing him to be a better man, and then there comes this woman who has the same desire. She wants to push him to be a better person, which he kind of does try in the film. You see him come out of his comfort space and become the man that his father always wanted him to be. And probably also an understanding that maybe a man like Amay needs someone to, have that backseat driving is what we call it. So I think that is what comes through for me in the film. And I'm sure a lot of boys will relate to it, that they need someone to just
that little push, it's needed, I want to ask you, why architecture? That's something I didn't understand. Maybe because of the complexities.
What do you all think? Why architecture?
I mean, because we spoke about it also.
Yeah, but still say it. I'm repeating myself.
I think, you see, it's broken homes.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And if we start from there, what better way to bring this contrast but, an architect who's struggling with this in this house. If you walk into his house is absolutely shattered, broken, and he's screaming to everyone, I'm an architect, I know what to do. But you weren't doing anything about it. Not doing anything about it. So I think it brings a certain layer which says so much without really saying it. And I think it was very beautiful the way it was put through in the script. Bhavan sir.
It's like when he says, I'm an architect, I know what I'm doing. And she says, okay. Acha,
And
theek
also
hai.
another
Put your
thing-
money where your mouth is. That's a lovely move.
And also, so the fact that, just for me, again, to see this as an actor, is that he's playing an architect and you don't really see him doing a lot of architecture. There's certain scenes where he's sketching.
Yeah.
He prepped for that. He sat with an architect and he learned how to
Oh, wow.
do those,
That's amazing.
sketches, how an architect holds pencil, that authenticity. So I think that's magic over there again that the two of them have brought to the
But
table.
honestly, for an actor like Avinash, he knows that that's the bare minimum. It's about delving into, as you said, the silences, the unsaid. That's what this performance, your performance, and you say a lot in the film. But the performances come through because of what was unsaid, including you. All right. In the last scene at the airport, there's a close-up of him where he walks to the camera and doubles up the close-up. I mean, you could do it in 500 different ways, but he just stared in the distance, and you can hear the lump in his throat. You can hear the lump in his throat. And when he gets a lump in his throat, I think that's the time you probably
Yes,
also.
exactly.
It's,
Even
it's
now.
that. Yeah, I'll never see this fool again.
Yes.
And thank God I did what I did. This opportunity may never come. This film is about missed chances.
Yes,
Again.
missed chances.
Don't miss these chances. Don't spend your time on your phone. And if you want to tell somebody you love them, just say it.
To say,
Just say it.
yeah, true. Oh my God, I have to ask you all, because we are talking about performances. You've done so many projects, right? Recently, Madgaon Express was such a hit, Bandish Bandits, Darlings, and so you are iconic anyway. What about this project, when you were part of it, what surprised you as an actor? That's something you didn't know about yourself, but it really did surprise
Nice question.
You want to take it first?
So a couple of things. I definitely found myself lacking in craft a couple of places. That's the actor part of it. Personally, I think there are a lot of moments, like even when he was just mentioning this, I was getting goosebumps right here in my shoulders, in my back, and I think also because it came as a validation from sir. It's something that I look forward to. But I think personally the revelation that happened for me was to really see that this is how human relationships are, and yes, we have a father-son story that we're talking about, but I suddenly connected to so many personal relations that I have where in human relationship is where we talk about communication, there's conversations about ego coming through, pride, there's so many things that happen, and it is all being put together through a father-son story. There's enough resource for me with my father himself, but I also felt there's so much more in several other relationships that I've encountered. And I think that made me feel that this is a film, if I call myself an artist, I would really want to be a part of it because it reaches out to so many, it says so much.
yeah.
And in such a beautiful way. I just feel privileged and honored to be a part of it.
Amazing. Shreya, for you?
No, absolutely. I want to second everything that he said. And over and above that, for me, this has been like a huge learning curve because I got to spend time with Boman sir in the capacity of an actor and a director, and of course Avinash and Puja as well. And just to see how they prepped for their characters, the little detailing that sir's talking about. And another really big take back for me, which I will be able to use in the future as well, is one conversation I had with sir where we were speaking about the female characters in the film. And we were just talking and he was like, we speak about empowerment today, but empowerment doesn't have to just be on the nose of something. It doesn't have to be like, aggression or yelling. There can be empowerment in silences. There can be empowerment in being gentle, because that's also a part of, having that feminine touch. So I think all of those things were, things that maybe I had not thought about as much before. So I'm very grateful that we could have those conversations, and I hope people take a lot from the film because, like he said, it's a very relatable story, and we hope it gets people thinking.
Thinking.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I third that. Okay. I mean, the learning on the project has been incredible. For me personally, one thing that happened which surprised me was that I fell in love with the act
I'm
of
married.
writing. The process of writing. Because to be involved so deeply with a script where you see the effort and the fruits of that effort, you know, that you put into the writing, the text, the word. For me, that was surprising. For me, that was the new, and now I'm attending his spiral bound classes.
Yay.
Yeah.
Sophie.
For me, it was really, really wonderful working with a good director. Joke. Pure joke. Pure joke. But I believe that you ask the DOP, Krish Makhija, you ask the editor, Charu, you ask the Payal, the production designer, you ask the crew. And they were all made to read the script maybe a few times. They get all their cues from the script. And for me, the trick is write it thoroughly. As an actor, when you say, where do we place the camera? Somehow the character will tell you where to place the camera, not the director.
Wow.
I'm not joking.
Yeah, that's so lovely.
The character tells me that if she's walking onto the pitch to yell at me, to say, I need to talk to you. She has the action. She has the action. She has walked in with the purpose. I'm going to walk behind her. Everything falls into place if the writing is in place. And that's why people like Billy Wilder or even RJ Irani spend so much time writing. So important.
So important.
So for me, the greatest learning is and writing is not just dialogues, right? And screenplay is not just plot points, right? Because there are 5 plot points in this whole film. But the screenplay includes the silences to tell you at what point they even, sorry to say, exchange a look, which means something. The communication of that. So you know that the DOP knows he's going to place the... It's so simple. Well, it's not. But you know what I'm trying to say is that the Bible of the script is the big learning.
You know, just to what Shreya said, I wanted to add on that even though it's Mehta Boys, they show such strong independent women characters, right? But you know, every time you say independent women, in your head, it's always like, oh, she's bold and she's aggressive. But it's not really the case. Right. Sometimes you could just be this simple, maybe this warm, nurturing person, and that could also be a strong, independent.
Powerful, isn't it?
Yeah. It is so powerful. You don't have to be like aggressive all the time.
Absolutely.
It's powerful. And I'd love to believe somebody told me, I love the way the female characters are written. All 3 of them.
Absolutely.
Think about the mom is such a powerful character. You know, every time you mention the name, I had to make this deal because she told me to make the deal. So you know the relationship immediately. And she's there. She's there looking down on all of them. And you know that scene you just mentioned about when she's telling, show your drawings, show your drawings. Why don't show me your drawings? And then in the end she smiles and leaves. And he says, we should date. I don't think so. She smiles and leaves. It doesn't mean, show your drawing, you're damn fool, you'll now be... Aisa nahi hai. Those little touches are what make it little, hopefully, nice.
It is. Okay, we'll keep this a little lighter and move on to a fun game segment. I have to mention that Radio Nasha is a retro radio station.
Right.
So 70s, 80s, 90s and early 2000s.
Yes.
So what we're going to do is play a fun game. It's going to be a competition between the 4 of you. Okay, and I'm going to give you some badly explained Hindi movie plots.
Okay.
And first guess karna hai ki kaun sa movie hai.
Arey.
Okay. I think,
You
I
don't
don't know who...
You don't want to do girls versus boys?
We can do that.
Okay, no, I don't want to do this alone.
You don't want to do this alone. Okay. I'm not going to go...
Oh, you're good at this?
I know, I'm
Yeah,
horrible
she
at
is.
this.
Then
probably.
you and me.
Okay, let's go for it. If you know the answer, just say it out loud. I'm not going to go.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's go.
The first one going to be very easy. 2 grown men skip their lives to stalk their college buddy who vanished after schooling them in life lessons.
Yeah. 3
yeah,
minutes.
yeah, that one.
Of course, he had to get it. Okay, another
long.
one. Guys,
I love
faster.
that.
Okay. 2 jobless guys compete for a rich girl's money while accidentally getting involved in a sibling rivalry featuring a criminal mastermind.
अंदाज अपना अपना.
Yes, it is
Oh,
right.
wow,
Good
good
job. He really thought it out.
That's such an interesting way to put that.
It's a badly
Yeah.
explained plot.
It's not actually. It's truthful.
Okay, then I'll explain it in a badder way. Okay, let's go for it. Okay.
You want to explain a bad way?
Yeah.
Why don't you read it?
Oh my God.
Just give me the film then. Then after first Wikipedia, kaun si hai, kya hua?
Okay, this one is going to be pretty easy. A man is literally dying, but everyone else in the movie is so emotionally messed up. They're in their own world, and at the end of the movie, the man dies. Now, this is a badly explained one.
Man dies.
A man is dying.
Yeah, and everyone around him is happy. They're emotionally messed up, true, but there's songs, there's dancing.
Oh,
And he does die.
Jane Bhi To Yaro. No.
He does die.
That's what
Think
I
about
thought.
2000s.
Kal ho na ho.
Yes, Kal Ho Na Ho. Pooja, you're the only one who doesn't have a point right now.
It's too much stress, guys. I can't do this.
You know, because she's from theatre.
Oh, please. Oh, please. There's none of that.
They don't comprehend badly written plots.
Okay, this one. I'm sure you can guess this one.
Oh, shit. Don't say that.
Okay.
Huh.
An underqualified man cheats his way into medical college.
Munnabai Mimbai.
I didn't want you to
I was saying it.
I'm sorry.
I was saying it.
I'm very competitive.
Okay, I just have the last two. Okay, let's go for it. Two brothers argue over who should own the family property while their mother silently judges them. Does this sound like every Bollywood movie?
Say again.
Two brothers argue over who should own the family property while their mother is silently judging them.
Bhut Bangla. Right.
This is random.
Two brothers.
Two brothers. What are the two?
आज मेरे पास बंगला है. गाड़ी
दीवार.
है.
वो वाली?
Divar.
दीवार.
But
It's badly
do they
explained.
fight for property?
No, they don't.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
badly explained.
okay.
Na?
Acha.
And the last one, I'm sure you can guess this. A retired cop hires two pretty criminals.
Sholay. Sholay.
Can we have a round of
Yay,
applause?
come on, Puja!
हो गया चलो ये तो.
Well, thank you so much for such an amazing conversation. I can't wait for the world to see the Mehta Boys. Thank you, guys.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Sheetal. You're wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Radio Nasha.